Let's remind ourselves again of the GIFT 631 success formula. Success equals goals plus mindset plus high value action times the ability to debrief to drive consistent improvement. Now, by now we should be doing the mind cleanse effectively. So we should be having an ever better idea of what's high value and quick, high value and deep. As you'll remember, the high value and deep we schedule into our next available time block. However, what I want you to do now is revisit a very simple exercise: high value activity versus low value activity. And I want you to do this in your next available Mozart time. And I want you to run the exercise like this. Think about the 3 or 4 most high value activities that you need to undertake to be really successful in your job, and put them down in the high value action column. Then I want you to think about the 3 or 4 low value activities that are consuming your time, that you believe are actually preventing you from spending sufficient time on those high value activities to be really successful. I want you to capture those as well. Then I want you to think about how much time am I spending on these low value activities. Ideally, put a percentage against it. Equally, put a percentage against the amount of time you're spending on the high value activities. The next part of the exercise is to think about, well, what can we do? What's within our control to reduce the amount of time we're spending on those low value activities so we can increase the amount of time we're spending on the high value activities. So once you've captured it, we should now have a series of low value activities. Let's think about that list. Really challenge yourself through this Mozart time. Really think about it. What can you stop? What can you do less frequently? If you're doing something daily, can you do it twice weekly or weekly? If you're doing something weekly, can you do it fortnightly or monthly? Is there anything you can outsource or delegate or ask somebody else to do? Is there anything you can shorten? If a meeting's taking an hour, do you believe you could do it in half an hour? Equally, think about, is there anything I can do more efficiently? By thinking through all of these things, we should find ways to reduce that percentage on the low value activity. Once you've done that, then I want you to think about, okay, if I've created 5% capacity in my week, how am I going to reinvest that capacity on high value activity? So what am I going to do more of? So let's just revisit that exercise really quickly. You're going to block out some Mozart time. This exercise may take more than one session, because I think it can lead to fundamental breakthroughs and enable you to create a more high performance diary and get a much better return on time. You're going to categorize your high value. You're going to capture your low value. You're going to think about the amount of time you spend on each, and then you're going to think about what you can do to drive down the low value, and then what you can do to increase the focus and the intention on the high value. Why do I see this as so important? Many people talk to me about they feel out of balance, they're overwhelmed, they're consumed by their workload. This is a way of regaining control around what really matters. It's a way of regaining control about the high value, the high priority actions that are going to move you, your team and your business in the direction of your potential and your SMUT goals. Before our next session, what I want you to do is get out your diary or get your diary on screen. And I want you to look forward over the next 2 to 4 weeks. I want you to identify your top 3 priorities. And I want you to give each of those priorities a color. So priority 1 might be red, priority 2 might be blue, priority 3 might be green. Then I want you to look back at that open diary. When there's something in your diary that directly relates to priority 1, colour it red. Where there's something that directly relates to priority 2, colour it blue. Priority 3, green. Now you're going to have a very, very visual view on how much of your current diary is focused on your top 3 priorities. Now, many of my clients are quite surprised. It's a very, very small number. If this is you, how do you then tackle that? Well, you go back to that high value, low value exercise. You revisit, you redo that, because too much of your time is being consumed by activities that are out with your top 3 priorities. Our objective is quite simple. By the time we get together again, you've increased the amount of colours that are spread across your open diary.